Okay, think about this the same way as we did on that on the graph. These are just points. Okay? So if we need to find out the answer to this question is a linear function, this basically means this is a line. This is a straight line. That's what we want to know. And so to do that, we need to know what is the slope. Because if all of these, indicate slope, if all of these are the same thing, then we have a linear function. If it's not, then it may be points on the graph, but it's not going to be a straight line. The reason we have these here is because our slope formula that I want you to rewrite right here says our slope formula tells us y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Well, these are x's, these are y's. So let's look at these 2 points first. Just -2, 9, and 0, -5. You don't have to rewrite them, but that could be another way that they're written. So if we have those, we want the difference in our y's first. y2 minus y1. -5 minus 9. Over 0 minus -2. You can calculate if you need to, but what are we getting on top of here? -14. 0 minus -2. 2 negatives make a positive. 2. And we can simplify that down to 7. So our slope there is 7. -7. So then we will look at these next two. Because we did those 2 points. We found out slope was -7. They need to be the same. So we're going to go between these two. Notice the arrow goes from the second one up. We don't need this one anymore because we already did that. Between these two. -1 minus -5 divided by our x's, 2 minus 0. 1 minus -5 is the same as 1 plus 5. So -1 plus 5 is going to be 4 over 2 gives us 2. Now as far as the answer to our question, those are different. So it can be a linear function. If they were the same and you needed to do another one, then we would find it between these two also. 3 minus -1 over 4 minus 2, which gives us 4 over 2, which is 2. But since one of them is not the same, then no, it does not represent a linear function. If you find your slopes and they all did, then it would be a linear function. Another way you could do that, you could get a graph and you could plot your points. Put those in the calculator, L1, L2, like we did the first of the year. A lot of ways you can determine whether that's a line or not. But that's one way we can find slope when we have a table, is subtract your y's, difference in your y's, over the difference in your x's. Okay? Whether it's a point on a graph or whether it's in a table. And as far as I'm concerned, even on the EOC, you can always have graph paper. So if you see it visually better, you can always plot graphs. I'm going to make some copies of graph paper today, and I'll have it there. You can do that too. Okay, this is what we did on the game. Just find the slope from the graph. Well, get 2 points. We want to know our slope. Slope is m. You need to get used to seeing that because it comes from y equals mx plus b, where m is slope and b is where it crosses the y-axis. So, think about our line here. If we're going to count this slope, and I want to go from this point to this point, how far do we go down? Down 1. over 3. Well, down would indicate what? Positive or negative? Negative. So negative 1 over 3. If I continue that, down 1 over 3. Down 1 over 3. That is the slope of the line. So on that one before with the table, if I had it between these 2 points, negative 1/3. And these two, negative 1/3. That tells me this is a linear function because the slopes are all the same between points and it creates a straight line. And one other thing I want to do with this, I know it doesn't ask you, but I want you to find it. Where's this causal axis? What's your favorite list look like? Maybe a little above 1, or 1.5 maybe? So if I have, you could say 1.25. But the point is, it's between those. So if I want to write the equation in my line, y equals negative 1/3 x plus 1.5. I want you to get to where you can look at that instantly and you can come up with it. This is from the y-axis. This is the slope. What about on 6? Up what? I should hear you. Up 5?
Yeah.
Okay. So our slope is going to be up 5 over 2. Where's the causal axis? A little bit below it. It's going to be negative 0.5 or negative 1/2. You can do either one. So I want you to write the equation of the line. Y equals 5 over 2x minus 0.5. We need to go from here to here, from here to here. We want to see where those connect. Okay, special case. Look on the top right here. It says graph each of these equations. What does this mean? It says x equals 7.
Seven.
Mean what? Every point on this
Yeah.
line, the x value is 7. That's what I want to pick. So if I do that, there's 7, 0, 7, 2, 7, whatever that is, 7, negative 4, 7, negative 7. And when we start graphing these, when you're up here doing some lines later, you can pick a line. And if you do this, it can, I like this because you can kind of move it and it keeps it straight. So that's something we can do. So, is that a function?
No.
No. Is it, does it have a y-intercept?
Yes.
No. Does it cross the y-axis? What is your slope? Say at those 2 points. What's 8 minus 5?
33.
What's 7 minus 7?
0.
0. What's that in your calculator?
0. Error.
Here.
Oh.
Arrow.
This vertical line, undefined. No slope. You have got to remember that. Undefined, no slope. So, on the other hand, for number 10, we have y equals negative 5. It means that all of our y values are negative 5. And we saw these earlier. So here, I have this line, you have a horizontal line, and where's it across the y-axis? -5. What's our slope? What's -5 minus -5? 0. What's 5 minus 0? What's 0 divided by 5?
0.
So slope is 0. If the line this way, slope is 0. This way, it's undefined. And you can always check it by putting points in your slope formula. Or just ask yourself, rise over run. Well, it didn't go up or down, so that's 0. It did go right or left, so that's a number. It's okay if I have 0 on top. Not okay if I have 0 on bottom. It says, we talked about transformation of the parent function. We need to recognize slope-intercept form, which we've already said is y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. Underneath where it says y-intercept, I want you to put start, our starting point. This is where, when you are graphing, that you will start. Because another form of the equation is standard form. This is where we have a lot of equations that start. We cannot use the calculator if it's in that form without putting in y equals. I put the steps over here on the board, and you can write them again here if you want to. If we have x plus y equals 5, or any of the rest of these, we want this form, y equals mx plus b, so we can find slope and y-intercept. To do that, this is in the wrong place. What happens to a number when you have to go across the equal sign? What do you have to do with it? They do the opposite, right? So, opposite of positive is negative. So the first thing we're going to do is move that. How do you change the sign? So y is equal to negative x plus 5. What number is understood to be in front of x? 1. So what's your slope?
1
Negative 1. What's your y-intercept? There you go. Because what we want to be able to do is either put this in the calculator or to graph. And if I were to graph this, I'm looking for a line. Maybe I need to match it. I'm looking for a line that starts at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and has a slope of down 1 to the right 1. Okay. But I could match that line because we're looking for a specific slope-intercept, y-intercept, and a specific slope. Okay, so let's look at one more of these. Let's look at number 7. 3x plus 2y equals 6. We want down here y equals, we want to find out our slope and our y-intercept. What's the first thing we need to do? This needs to move. If it's positive over there, what's it going to be when we move it? Negative. So I have 2y equals negative 3x plus 6. Same thing we did when we solved the equations. Opposite operations. The difference is we can't combine these because 6 doesn't have an x. What did we do when we solved equations and we need to get rid of a number in front of another, in front of a letter? Right here. Side by side. Divide. The opposite multiplication is division. So the second thing we need to do is divide the number with y. Well, those cancel out. There's my y. Negative 3 over 2 can't be reduced anymore. There's my slope. And what's 6 divided by 2? 3. So there's the equation of a line. Y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 3. Y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 3. Now you can do the rest of these with either solving for Y equals, doing the table, or you can look at a piece of graph, okay, you look at a graph paper, and you can plot points.